Hi, I'm Brian Wynn. I'm the fire chief of the Whitecourt Fire Department, and we've been getting lots of questions from people of what can I do to help the firefighters save my house. So we're just going to go through this property and have a look at some things that before people evacuate or as soon as you get on alert, you can spend 20 minutes to help us reduce the fuel load around the perimeter of your house so that we can hopefully down the road save your house. So we're going to just walk up and look at this house like a firefighter and or the embers from a approaching fire would think about your house as well too. So the first thing when we're looking at is the roof was in good shape. It's Class A rated shingles. These troughs were clean. The exterior is stucco, which is excellent for resistance to fire. The next thing we do is we look at the ground, right? So the resident has been working hard they had mulch here previously, but they're removing it. And a phrase that I'd like you to remember is rock good, mulch bad, right? Mulch will burn, mulch will sustain a 20 centimeter flame height around wherever it is. So mulch is bad around the perimeter of the house. We want to keep that 1.5 meter immediate zone non-combustible as possible. So the next thing that we're looking at is the front door. The front door mat is fuel. So if you threw this mat on a fire, it would burn. And that's the way you need to think about it is it's either fuel or it's not. So if embers are landing on here, this could actually ignite this mat that could also go underneath the door sill and start the door sill on fire, which is then starting the walls on fire within the stucco area. The next is the planter pots. Planter pots typically have a lot of peat moss in them. We lost an apartment building because of a planter pot fire, right? So remove all these, right? Get these away from the house, okay? As we go around the perimeter of the house, we'll look at the fences. So it's a wooden fence. And again, we're looking for that 1.5 meter non-combustible zone. We would like this to be a steel gate. So fence line fuel right to the house. Let's make a break in the fuel so that it'll stop the fire. So what we want this is this gate secured open so it can't close in the wind, right? So when you leave, this gate's gonna stay open. Right, as we enter into the yard, we're looking around the perimeter. We see the bags of mulch that was removed, but it's still here, right? So it's gonna burn from embers landing on it and probably catch underneath here for the fireplace setting and start a fire there, right? So we would remove all that stuff. If there was heavy mulch still left close to the house, I would get my crew to grab some rakes and actually physically rake it away from the house if we had time, right? We only can do that if we have time. The next is the window well, right? Embers are really gonna accumulate in here. So inside here, everything has to be non-flammable fuel and clean, right? There can be no debris, especially mulch or dead leaves from, you know, the season or whatever. So every spring, this has got to be kept really, really, really clean, right? The lawn is well maintained, so we want the lawn to be 10 centimeter height. We have a 15 centimeter vertical non-combustible zone. We have a propane bottle here. The propane bottle is fine, but if you look at it compared to this one is sitting on the deck. So if the deck caught on fire, this eventually would levy in and burn, right? So it's got to be removed as well. That's got to be removed. This has got to be removed. But if we're looking under the deck, there's no fuel underneath the deck. That's perfect. That's the way we don't want anything to have a fuel load under a fuel source, right? Which the wooden deck is. Okay, so we're going to go up and have a look on the deck. Deck's in great shape, but again, it's wood. So when we come up here, we're looking at all the fuel sources, right? So we'll start this way. This chair material will burn. Wooden patio, furniture, burn. We've got a wood pile here, right? Wood pile should be 10 meters away from the house, right? So this has to be removed, right? All the little ceramic stuff is fine. You've got a dog bed here. It's made out of synthetic materials. It'll burn, right? The propane bottle's got to go. The propane barbecue doesn't have to go because it's all metal. But this mat underneath it is easily removed as well. All the planter pots, right, need to be removed. This is actually collecting ash from jasper, right? So that's how far stuff will travel. But the live embers will travel many, many kilometers, right? These seat cushions need to be removed, maybe not the chairs, but if we look at this chair, the material under the cushion is still flammable, so now we need to remove the chair, right? The table's fine because it's glass and metal. Don't have to remove it. All the planter pots. So where would we put these? We have a shed over here. We put everything in the shed, right? So as we look in the backyard now, we've got these buckets that are basically going to collect embers, right? They're going to catch embers. So we have this bucket full of fuel, right? So this is going to burn. This will probably start this fence on fire, right? Don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. This has got really fine fuel sitting on the top of the fence here. That's like kindling. It's going to burn, right? Open, open. So what we would do is remove all these and let's put them in the middle of the driveway, right? If they're going to burn, they can burn out there where they're not going to catch anything else on fire. If we can't put them in a garage and or a shed, right? If we can secure them somewhere where the embers can't get at them, that's what we're going to do, okay? Next, we got a jerry can of fuel. Pretty big hazard, right? It could be put in the shed where embers can't get at it, right? So what we're going to end up doing is putting a lot of this stuff in the shed to keep it away and safe from the embers that are going to travel, right? When you look at these chairs, fuel, this is fuel. The frame that's holding it is all steel. That can stay. This can stay because it's metal and glass. But again, this is a catch basin if it's got peat moss in it. Fuel, 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 fuel. All the way down to where we did leave the gate open so that the fuel should stop and hopefully not go and take maybe both houses, right? So these are simple things that people can do. 20 minutes, we're gonna do the work and then we're gonna show you a video after. Okay, now we're gonna do a little walkthrough. A team of 4 of us spent 10 minutes prepping this house. So you can see that the big problem we had was the mulch bags, they were wet and the bottoms fell out of them. So that's what took at least half our time was to do that mulch, right? But for what the prep that we did, walking up to the front, there wasn't much to do on the front except if you remember the doormat and the planter pots. Those are removed, right? So no fuel underneath the door, right? This is all good. The front gate's secured open, right? It won't close. This is where the bags of mulch were. They've been removed, right? And we had some other debris there as well too, some fuel. That's been removed as well too, okay? We had the homeowner pull the mulch away from the house, right? So that the fuel is not close to the house. Ideally, totally remove it, but if you only have so much time, this is better than nothing, okay? The window well, spent 1 minute in here cleaning out the vegetation in there. Now I'm pretty happy with that window well, right? So it's a lot cleaner. Okay, Windows are closed now as well. Before the windows were open. When you leave, you want to make sure everything's closed up, sealed up tight, windows, doors, everything. Propane bottle was down here, gone, right? Propane bottle on the deck, plus the mat, gone. The chairs that were here are gone, and the umbrellas. We left the frames because they're steel, they're not fuel, right? Fuel, no fuel. Gas tank of fuel, gone, right? All in the shed now, right? All protected by the shed, right? So if you have a pan of the deck up there, anything that's burnable for fuel has been removed. Okay, no cushions, no chairs, no planter pots. They've all been removed. Right, so we're given the survivability of this house increasing with everything that we do remove. Okay? We removed the pails and garbage and stuff that was in this corner. It's all in the back driveway. And we're going to secure the gate open with a bungee so that the gate won't close. It's going to stay open. So even if crews are doing a drive-by in the back alley, they can see into the yard and evaluate if this property is safe or not, right? And then as you look into the driveway, we have placed everything that we've removed and also spaced it so that if one caught fire, it's not going to catch it all on fire. So if you're going to make piles of stuff, make small piles in many. I placed this drum on top of this one because this one was full of the styrofoam. I don't have nowhere to do with it. So I just covered it so that embers can't get into that one, right? This planter pot, if it burns, it's not going to take this and it's not going to take this. Our garbage can lid is now closed, so no embers can get into there. And if you wanted to, you could also put a piece of duct tape over it to keep it closed, okay? And basically, you know, the lawn and everything, the weeds have all been maintained for the back property. The only other thing for these piles of mulch that we removed, you could just space those separately as well too. And that's how you can help the firefighters help save your house. So to protect this property, I could probably really give it a great chance of surviving with one sprinkler that would not only get the roof wet, but it would also make this deck wet. So the way I would do it would be with a wasp sprinkler. These ones only flow 1.4 gallons a minute, so not a lot of water. They hang on your eaves trough, and you don't have to get on the roof to do it, because I don't want people having to get on the roofs, and quite frankly, I don't want my firefighters having to go on the roofs because it takes more time, slows them down, and the possibility of an injury, right? So all you do is there's a hole in the top that you put on an extendable paint pole, and this is a second-story roof, right? So I'm not going on a ladder. I'm just lifting it up. I'm hanging onto the hose at the same time, and I'm just going to hang it in the eaves trough just like that. And then all we're going to do is connect this hose to your outside tap. So we don't want you to shut your water off. We want to use the town water system and piping hundreds of kilometers, so I don't have to use a whole bunch of fire hose. And then all we will come and do is turn on the tap and basically protect your house, right? Easy peasy. So you can see our sprinkler is running on the roof right now. It's been running about 10 minutes. The deck is wet. If you look under the glass table, that deck area is dry. So then maybe you would think I would remove the table as well too, right? And if you look, the whole yard is actually being sprayed. The roof on the shed is wet. The back fence and gate is wet. The fence along the side is wet, And one sprinkler is pretty much doing both residences of this duplex, right? With one sprinkler, right? Very good risk control. And quick and easy and fast. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the front of the house and show you what I want you to put up in the front of the house. So after you've done all the work and you've set your sprinkler up, and we want you to flow the water and test it, make sure it's in the right spot, because it's easy to move with the pole. I want you to shut the water off and put up a sign in the front window of your house to alert the firefighters that you have sprinklers set up, you've done the work to help us save your house. And then that's gonna make the firefighters come and have a look. And if all they have to do is turn on one tap and this structure is saved, that allows them a quick save and they can move on to the next structures. So pretty simple poster, a color that's gonna grab their attention, and maybe put a little sign on there, hey, thanks for saving us or whatever. But just to keep their courage up as well while you are evacuated and the firefighters are here to save the town, right? So I hope you found this useful, that you can help the firefighters that are being deployed from across the world to Alberta right now to help save your structure. Thank you very much.